Hi guys, it's Nigel here, the old lead developer from Derp Studios again, and today I'm here to talk about the touch interface in IronCocoon, their upcoming game. Now, I'm going to show you the whiteboard. As I said, the whiteboard's art sucks, so don't judge it by its art, please. Look at the concept art, don't look at this. Um, Actually, in all honesty, these are outdated assets. Even the user interface, so not just that, but a lot of the stuff is just things which I haven't bothered changing. Here you can see the user interface. Blah blah blah. Why am I talking about user interface? The touch controls. Like if you touch someone, it fires them. If you touch a location, it fires at the location and keeps facing that way. So like if I just do that, it's killing them. If I hold touch on an object, it kills it. If I face it where it kills it. Not just that, let's see if this works too. Damn it! Oh, here we are. There we are. It also does it. Now, even though that doesn't look like much, what that's doing is that's actually picking an actor instead of a pawn and damaging it. So that's pretty handy. Ignore the the death effect. That kind of went wrong as well. I just realised you can hear all of this. It sounds awful, doesn't it? Yeah. Okay. Let's dodge all those questions about the art. Okay. As you saw, the touch interface is it, even though the game doesn't look amazing in the white box version, the touch interface is pretty solid. Where whenever you touch on a location, it fires in that location according to the height of the plane, even though you couldn't see it because it was flat. If you tap on a pawn or a touchable actor, so anything that needs to be destroyed, you automatically lock onto that and it shows the health bar. And then if you tap away from that, so you just tap anywhere else on the screen, it'll automatically delete it. Now, another thing which I didn't show you just simply because I forgot, was that if you touch on the pause button or the move controls or the secondary fire button, that doesn't activate a check touch to see if it's the current target, so it doesn't deselect your target and it doesn't start your firing. So without further ado, let's quickly talk through how this was done. This is the player controller class. It's our own. It's just extending simple PC, so real, back end stuff pretty much. Um, okay. Initialized input system is called near the beginning of the input system's creation. So it's just the setting up stage, and at that stage we get the actual viewport size, and we assign on touch input, which is called mobile player input. We've just made an extension of that, and then said on the mobile player's input on input touch, do something called handle input touch, which is just down here. So that means what I just told you in layman's terms is when you touch the screen and hold your finger down for the entire duration that your finger's down, or however many fingers are down, handle input touch will be called, and it'll talk through the entire stage. It's really funky, actually. Okay. Notify director control is actually a bug. By the way, I'm going to totally offshoot. It's a bug, and you guys need to know this. If any of you guys are doing handle input touch, if you do Kismet events with a camera, what happens is it actually destroys this reference here. That reference there is destroyed, and your touch interface will no longer work, and you'll beat yourself around the head trying to figure out what's going on. Basically, you just need to reset up the zones. It destroys them. Unfortunately, it's just a bug in UDK. It might have fixed it by now, but they hadn't when I left. So literally, just in notify director control, reset up the zones. Simple as that. Anyway, okay, what we got here is handle input touch. Now this is where the raw input data is handled. What we do is we do a return function, so just get rid of any more thinking if it doesn't pass this safety check. And the safety check is simply down here. We get the actual touch location on the viewport and make sure it's not touching the joystick, the weapon, or the pause button. And then what we do is we deproject that touch location into a real world location, so where the camera is and where it's facing, basically, and where that means on your touch. And we do a trace and see if we hit a pick actor. and if the pick actor didn't equal none, doesn't matter what it was, we get the rotation touch and make sure it's just the same Z height as our own pawn. Now, what that actually is that's passed to our player walking state. On player walking state, we check to see whether there's something called TDS target. If there is, automatically fire onto it. If there's no TDS targets, then if we got the finger down, then suddenly the rotation, which is a return, I'll show you in a bit. Okay, so I'm confusing myself and getting overwhelmed. Okay, so if touch began, pending touch is used, which is also used below. I'll show you in a minute. Here we are. If touch is cancelled, pending touch is false, and we return. So just get out. You know, I'm just trying to get the computer to think as little as possible. Believe it or not. Here we are. If it's moved, we do a check to make sure it's not over the click tolerance. And then at the end of it, once we release our finger, we check to see whether the selected actor was the pick actor touch location. Now pick actor is down here. This is actually from the UDN. I stole it from the UDN, but it was a bit buggy, so I actually improved it. Fair play, Nige. So anyway, what this does in essence is it just checks to see whether it's TD's current target. Now I know I was only going to talk about the touch controls, but they're actually hooked into the movement controls and the firing state, so I'll just show you that real quickly. Player walking, what we do is we get the face rotation to change according to current target, which is a return that you see right here. What this does is it will set target to none if you're dead, if the thing you're touching is dead, or if the actor that you're touching has been destroyed. Just set it to none, just so we're not doing anything with it. And then if it doesn't equal none, and if it's over health, then we do a return rotator of that, and we set firing to true, so it just fires in that location. And then same thing if it is a touchable toucher. Now this doesn't look that smooth. It's because there's been loads of design changes, and they're like, no, Nigel, we like this. No, Nigel, we like that. No, Nigel, actually no, we changed our mind. We do like this, but we want this as well. So whenever they do that, you buy some Prozac and you change it, basically, which is what I did. I mean, this one, for example, here. You can see what it says in the comments, but that meant that if there's swarms coming nearby to you, you'd switch from your primary weapon to your secondary melee attack, and then if there's a bunch of them, just so you weren't tapping the screen repeatedly, it would automatically lock onto the nearby one if it was within the range. But they didn't want it, so I've just commented it out because they might change their mind again. Anyway, if pending touch, then pending touch said about before. Should fire, yes, and the rotator that we were passing back to the player walking state is that one that we created in the check touch and minus it by the pawn location, so we just fire in the right direction. And then these are just standards, just if it's not firing, then return its last rotation and don't fire, things like that. But that's basically it, guys. I know I waffled on for 8 minutes, but that's me, I guess. Sorry about that. I am reasonably efficient, it's just my mouth isn't. Anyway, I'll see you guys soon. Okay, bye.